Hey guys, this is Ainsley with Illumivue. Today we're going to talk about the Illumivue app, also how to maximize your system via the app, and then some of its features as well. Okay guys, let's go ahead and get started. We're going to go through the Illumivue app, just some basic navigation, but then also show you some of the really cool features within the app. This is assuming that you've already done either the P2P pairing of your app to your device, whether it's a DVR, NVR, and gone through the whole setup of the recorder. So once that's done, of course, you can open up the app and you can start seeing some of your live views. We'll go ahead and change this to, I've got 9 cameras at my house right now. So it's all 9 cameras that we're viewing. So the first thing I like to do is go into the device menu, which is the top left little hamburger menu, and select devices. And then here you should see your cloud device. It should be blue. That would be your recorder, either DVR or NVR. The little 3 buttons to the right of your device, go ahead and select that. And there's a couple of different settings that you may want to change. And this is for my personal taste. I like to change it, and I'll explain why. So from here, you'll see under the My Device menu, you can click Edit, and this is essentially going into your device, into the Edit menu. And you'll notice the first thing where it says Live View, it's closer to the bottom, it's set to auto. And what that does, depending on your signal, Wi-Fi signal, cell phone signal, it'll bring up the cameras in either your high resolution view, medium resolution, or low resolution. And so as you can imagine, depending how strong your signal is, could depend on how quickly the cameras are going to produce an image. For me, I like to leave it on medium setting, so I like to change it from auto to medium. So they'll always load really fast at a lower resolution, which when you're looking at it on a phone, especially in a tile view of, say, 4 or more cameras, you don't need it to be on high resolution. You can manually go in and change the resolution from medium to high if you need to see something in detail. But if you want the really fast response from your cameras just to produce an image, I would set it to auto load at medium. The next thing you can also change to improve the performance of the cameras producing an image is the streaming media. And as you'll notice, it's set to Protocol 3. And there's a few different settings here. Protocol 2 is an older protocol that allows the cameras to produce a live image quicker on your phone. However, it pulls out some features like motion notifications on Playback. So on your Playback timeline at the bottom, if there was motion, it would be all blue for the timeline with little red hash marks. Those red hash marks would be gone on Protocol 2. What this does, it allows the app to pull in that information quicker because it's pulling in less information from the recorder to produce your images. So I personally like to leave it on Protocol 2. But if I need to see those hash marks because there was an incident in my house, I would switch it to Protocol 3 and then view that playback with those hash marks. It's really up to you. Once you've made those changes in your devices, you're going to want to click the top right icon, which is the save icon. And then from there, we can go on to checking out some of the other, standard or basic features within the app. So from here, I'm going to go to live playback. Produces all 9 cameras really quickly, and as you'll notice, it says medium next to every name within the camera because that is, like I said, producing that medium stream, not a HD stream. And so from here, let's choose this camera on the right front of my property. And as you can see, on the menu below the camera, it says SD quality. And if I want to see a little higher resolution, I can just hit high, and then it automatically will switch over to that higher resolution. And then I can go back to medium as well. If you have a camera with a microphone, you can click the audio, and from here you can even hear the birds chirping. That's a pretty loud bird there. And you can, of course, click it off. From this menu as well, you can take a snapshot of this image, or you can manually hit record and record the image as well. And it will store it for you to text message or email the image out. One other really cool feature within the Illumivue app is the ability to change some of the camera settings directly from the app. Most systems, you have to go into the menu structure of the recorder or some type of VMS to remotely change it. But this allows pretty much anyone, especially the end user, to make pretty basic and simple changes. To do so, if you'll notice closer to the bottom of the screen, you'll have an icon called Remote Config with a little monitor and a gear by it. If you click Remote Config, that will allow you to get into the menu structure of the camera. And from here, you can change the device name. So right now it's defaulted to D1. I'm going to call this the right front because this is a camera on the right front of my house. After I do that, I'm going to hit the top right save icon. Other things you can do, if you click image, you can force it into a day mode, a night mode, or an auto mode to where it can, especially if it's a night light camera, it can automatically turn on those lights in auto mode whenever there's not enough light coming into the lens. Or you can force that camera to day mode to where those lights would never come on, and it's just using the natural ambient light in the area to produce an image with or without the color. So I'm going to leave it on day mode because I really don't need those lights on the front of my house. I have enough ambient light from the street lights. Let's look at OSD configuration. From here, the OSD or on-screen display would display the name of the camera, and you can really dictate where you want the name of the camera, either top left, right, bottom left, so on and so forth. You can also change the time format, the date format, the position of the time and date. So it's really customizable. Go back here. Motion detection. So this was just added to this app to allow you to change the area you're trying to protect or to try to trigger. And then with a future revision or update to the firmware, we're going to get human body detection, auto tracking, and I believe we're going to also have face detection to allow you to modify those settings from the app if your camera does have those features. So for now, we do have motion detection. We do have the ability to change that. So I've got motion detection turned on in this camera. And if I click the detection area, as you can see, anywhere where there's blue, if a person enters into the area where there's blue squares, it will send me a notification with a clip of that recording directly to the app. And I can show you that in just a second. So from there, if you do want to make changes to this, maybe you want to widen this area, you can just tap the screen and add in additional blue squares for your detection area. So from there, I would click my little checkbox and we're good to go. Okay. Another cool feature from the app is the ability for the app to have automatic upgrades and notifications of those upgrades. So if you want to enable those, you would want to go to the top left menu, click on Devices, click on the three dots next to your device, click P2P Upgrade, and then from here you can see if there's a red dot next to your cameras, there is an update available. So let's say my right pool, let's say I can click and start the upgrade. Once I click that, of course, the camera will need to reboot and shut down, but you can do full upgrades, updates from the app. So let's say if you wanted to receive notifications, whether it's motion notification, face detection, intrusion, you can enable those per camera through the app. So what you would do is go to the top left menu, go to alarm notifications. To turn on notifications, just go to the bottom of the notification menu, and hit allow notifications. And then you would select your recorder. So for here, this is my house, and I just turned on the notifications here for the house. And then you're going to want to select advanced settings, click on the NVR, and then select the cameras individually that you want notifications for. If there's certain cameras you do not want any notifications, of course, do not check that. Once you're done, hit save. And then now you can go back to your notification menu. And these are all the notifications I've had over the last X amount of months of the system being installed. And I've got 9 cameras. So let's say you really just want to filter it down to 1 or 2 cameras you want to see maybe previous notifications from. If you hit this camera icon on the top left, you select your recorder. You can filter it just by hitting a camera, and once you hit OK, now these are all notifications for that one camera. So I have 4 incidents or 5 incidents, 5 notifications from that one camera. And this detection intrusion area was triggered earlier, and so you can see here this very first incident was recorded, and you can see it's got a little film reel and then a camera snapshot. But let's look at the film reel first. You click that, and it'll show you the time the intrusion happened. And so this person walked across the lawn, triggered that event, sent me the recording. From here, I can take a snapshot, or I can record this text message or email it out. The next thing we can talk about is playback, and there's a few cool features within the application. So we'll stick to the same camera that we were talking about earlier on the right front of my house to view playback on that one camera. And you can view up to 4 cameras at one time, but let's just stick to 1 for simplicity's sake. So double click on the camera you want to view playback. And from here, you can of course change the video quality to high, increase that video quality, get a little more resolution. Click the playback, and then from here, you're going to have a timeline across the bottom. Blue should identify no activity or no motion. Red is going to be some type of motion that you didn't specifically identify. It could be a car, it could be a dog, it could be a person. Purple on this particular camera is an intrusion area that I drew out, and it stated that if anyone is in that intrusion area, which is the whole right front of my yard to the right of the entrance to the house, and within the sidewalk area, that it would send me a notification. And you can see that there was an incident because there's a purple vertical hash mark on the timeline. So if you just simply scroll that timeline across to the beginning of that purple area, and then you can also zoom in and see that there was a person coming across that area at that time. If you want a little more information, or you want to zoom into the timeline, you can click the magnifying glass to the right of the bar. And actually, I already had it zoomed in, and you can increase or decrease that timeline. So here's an incident that could be a person outside of our detection area, or it could be a car driving by. I didn't really identify it with my detection area. They didn't cross over the detection area, so that's good, but at least the app is at least telling me that something happened here at this red hash mark. So we'll scroll the timeline over to the red hash mark. As you can see, that I think that's my dry cleaner dropping off dry cleaning at the front door and running back. Now, he didn't cross over into the yard, which is the intrusion area, hence the red line. In the live view, you can also rearrange the way the cameras are laid out. To do so, you just press and hold each camera, and you can drag the camera where you want it to be seen. So I like my front door to be right up front, so press and hold, drag and drop, and then it'll swap out those 2 cameras. We'll do it again. I'll have the driveway next up, then I'll have right front, then I'll have the street view. And then from here, I like to have the pull in the center. I'll have this guy over here so I can see, kind of pull, I'm sorry, here, let's swap that around. Pull left to right. There we go. Once you have your cameras laid out where you like them, you can save it to a favorite setting. So if you look at the bottom toolbar, you'll have a favorites icon, and then you can name this setting or this layout, and I'll just call it Fave 1. If you want to recall or pull up that favorite setting, go to the top left hamburger menu, select Favorites, and then select your preset favorite. Fave 1, hit Start Live View.